And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say.
Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to Coin Place Tarot. My name is Coy, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open, so either message or email me directly. Link is on main, and we can set that up, okay? Scorpio, what have we been doing? Particularly, what have I been doing? It's been a lot of massive life changes, especially even in the past 2 months. Things that have been going on for work and schedule for me, but also a lot of people's lives are changing right now in the current dynamic of where I'm at and all the stuff we're going through. And with that being said, I wasn't exactly comfortable anymore doing the first and last reads that we were trying to publish at the beginning of the month. First and last is style of reading where aces on top, tens on the bottom of each respective element, water, earth, fire, and air going across. That examines energies coming to a close and also things opening, right? So openings and closings, right? Instead, I wanted to switch it up a bit. So I'm trying this new style out. I call it ATCs, as things change, examining not beginnings and endings, but the conflict point, the fives, right? Fives are considered, at least the way I define them, you could look it up more in the Learn With Me playlist. The fives are cards of conflict. They establish here's what's going on, here's why we feel that way, and how we examine something we understand to be a conflict, right? So water, earth, fire, and air going across, cups, pentacles, wands, and swords respectively. We hop right into it and try to piece apart not only what's going on, but some hopeful resolutions from it. So, Scorpio, as a preamble to the read, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, when it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I gotta do 12 signs every round, depending on the topic, and I don't have time to lie to any one of them. We set out our cards, lay it out on the table, and good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we talk about it. Because remember, tarot at the end of the day, it's a conversation, just an energetic one, right? So follow along with me in your read today, Scorpio. Your as things change, ATC read, and yeah, let's see what the cards say. Going over here, let's start with that Five of Cups. Show us the cards we need to see, please, in the home element of water for Scorpio. With the cards we need to see, please. The Hierophant. Okay. Finds that. King of Wands. I mean, it's still good to pull the Hierophant in that case. We are, at time of recording, beginning Taurus season. And Queen of Wands. Okay. So something we felt so unbelievably right about, and the reason I'm saying that is because the King and Queen right there, Scorpio. This was the path. This was something we were dedicating ourselves to. And I got the feeling that it just didn't pan out the way that we wanted it to. For all that, the combined faces of the King and Queen of Fire and the Hierophant right there, no, I thought that this combination should work, right? 1 + 1 = 2, and there was no way to deviate from that. Why you are left in pain, that's not entirely, examined here. But I do have, if it is the case of you and a partner, or you and something that you were bonded so well with, the energy was right, the feeling was right. So if it all works, why didn't it work, right? And that's the question that we're left stuck with. So let's go to the Five of Pentacles. What do we feel left behind? Oh, almost popped out, but it didn't hit the table, so I can't say. What do we feel left behind from, or in a state of lack with? Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Scorpio in their ATC read upon the Five of Pentacles. Six of Swords. Why can't we move? Page of Pentacles. No matter how many times we try, High Priestess, yeah. I think it's easier to say than do right now, but the shock of, again, this not working out for you, Scorpio, in theory, we want to say, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I can get up and move over it. In reality, we're pissed, right? We don't have to be mad about it. We don't have to look internally at ourselves as lesser for it. We have to do it, right? We have to actually feel our feelings and what's going on here internally. Yeah, I'm gonna move on eventually. It is, something I'm going to accept, but today ain't that day, right? And we could either intellectualize our feelings or we can feel them. And right now, I think the trying to analyze it from this more academic or intellectual space of being like, well, logically speaking, I shouldn't be, it's not doing you any good, right? The reason why we still feel left out and all this coming, yeah, we know that eventually we're going to feel okay about it. But right now, give yourself the space to be mad. We thought it would have worked out, right? That King and Queen of Fire, King and Queen of Wands, both suggesting that 1 plus 1 should equal 2. Why are we here? It was supposed to be. Why are we here? So, yeah, you have a right to be mad. I just want you to remind yourself of that, but also not be consumed by it. Now let's go to the Five of Wands. How do we engage with conflict? What do we find direct engagement's path word? Show us the cards that we need to see, please, upon the Five of Wands for Scorpio's reading. Two of Pentacles. Okay. In order to achieve balance, we give the best of ourselves. In regards to the Queen of Cups, Temperance, the card Sagittarius. Yeah. Things both can and will eventually change with time. But upon that Five of Wands, giving the best of ourselves means we also got to be honest about how we feel, right? Is it the prettiest thing? No, because you got some fire for whoever messed this up. I'm gonna tell you this right now, Scorpio. You got a lot of things to say, but also understand if we're saying that we're being honest in this exchange or in this conversation, then that's how we also make it balance out. We don't try to present the idealistic or best versions of ourselves without also bringing up the reality of how we feel about it. Those two things aren't compatible given the scenario, right? You had your logical justification of how it went down. You have your logical justification of, okay, I'll feel better about this eventually, but today ain't that day. And now even when we engage in conflict, we know we're going to be better for getting it off our chest, so to speak, or telling exactly what we mean. But in order to make that balance, to make that juggling, keep the motion going, with that Queen of Cups, if we understand internally we're eventually going to feel better, then we got to give voice to the things we've been suppressing. And I think that's the best way that we can, engage in conflict right now, is that I can't care about how you feel right now. I got to do this for me. And if you want me to be honest, it's about to get real honest between us. Yeah. Will you be there eventually? Again, this is already confirmed. We don't need to be a dead horse in that way. But the Queen of Cups underneath that Five of Wands, I am not a lesser person for having to bring up my grievances about this entire situation. And I don't care how this makes me look. If it makes me look petty, guess what? I'm petty. If it makes me look belittled or less than or unprofessional, guess what? I'll be all those things. But I need the space to actually say this right now, because if I go without mentioning it, it doesn't add up for what happened, like the result of this story, right? Feel your feelings. To the Five of Swords, to that internal monologue, show us cards we need to see, please, for Scorpio in this reading. What is going on upon that Five of Swords? Oh, the King of Cups. Yeah. And so, what is the best thing emotionally to do? We now know how we feel internally and want to express that. Um, we're trying to see the best of ourselves and how can we make it come out. But we feel also, by the time we come to a conclusion, we're locked out from it because it isn't the right thing to say or do given the scenario. So, rock in a hard place. What do we do with that? What else goes along with that Five of Swords? Three of Pentacles. And alongside Three of Pentacles, the Magician. Yeah, okay. And again, underneath it all, Five of Pentacles. Yeah. At least for right now, I'm not really seeing an intimate partner bond here, Scorpio. I think one of a person, a close confidant, or somebody within your circles, they kind of did something that caused a rift in the balance of the relationship, and you having to have this honest conversation I haven't had with them in a very long while. Part of it is like, okay, will this ruin or completely, destroy the friendship? But on the other hand, we're friends, right? We should be able to talk about this. Yeah, we want the best given the scenario. The Magician trying to foster, hey, we're friends, right? We can talk about these things, right? And simultaneously, you're struggling to get all this stuff off of your chest, right? I do not see necessarily an intimate partner here. That could change in other clarifiers. But with this Five of Pentacles being your underneath, I still feel locked on and still feel left behind. If you are my friend, why did you do this? That's the bigger question that, I'll verbalize that for you, Scorpio. If you are my friend, why did you do this? Why are we here? Why are we here? The tail can't always wag the dog. Why are we here and doing what we're doing? Would friends actually treat each other like this? We're asking some base fundamental questions, because if I get lost in the weeds of, hey, this was supposed to work out, what gives? Why are we not going on that trip now that we planned for months, if not years? Why are we not following through on the very fundamental things that I thought we discussed and got, we jumped over many times before? We're trying to ask deeper core elements about this dynamic that's not in a disrespectful tone, but actually a genuine inquiry of, do you genuinely want to work on this with me anymore? So, yeah. If friendship requires honesty, hey, at least you're giving that. Let's give me one card underneath every single five. Show us cards we need to see, please, for Scorpio on their ATC reading. One card underneath all the fives. Oh, that would have been nice, but it didn't hit the table, so I can't take. Show us cards we need to see, please, for Scorpio on this reading. King of Pentacles, yeah. And if we're still saying, I think this isn't even geared at them anymore, Scorpio. This is more geared toward yourself. This was supposed to be perfect. Everything was supposed to work out. We had the entire plan been reviewed through multiple times. We ran the simulation, we ran the model, it all came out a success. Then why are we here? That King of Pentacles, you're really beating yourself up because we thought this was the best investment ever and it broke apart. These things do happen, but if we carry all the weight, we can understand that something is an optimal and good investment and still have certain factors that make it go to ruin. There's almost nothing in this world that's 100% foolproof, right? But if we take all that responsibility and just blame ourselves, we're kind of missing the bigger point of what's going on here, right? We didn't do all that analysis for nothing. It was a good investment, but now we're in a different stage, and because we are in a different stage, we need to start asking different questions. King of Swords, okay, yeah. And so how you're going to feel about it, we're going to make it okay eventually, but we got some stuff to say between the other parties involved. That is for sure. To the Five of Wands, Emperor, the card of Aries. And so when I'm able to stay on that decision and really speak my mind, really say what you say that you wanted to hear from this, you wanted my feedback, here it goes. No regrets. Leave it on the table, because again, to that Five of Swords, Star, the card of Aquarius, if you are my friend, we will be able to get through this. However, right now, we got to talk about a lot of things that did not go right here. And maybe that's just how it is. Underneath it all, Chariot, the card of Cancer. And so being left behind or feeling left out in a journey, if that is truly how we feel internally, Scorpio, then that should be your operating guiding principle, not the, what would a better and more mature version of me do? Your better and more mature version of you is telling you that blatantly ignoring what you're feeling, scorned and, irritated about given the situation and silencing yourself is not doing you any good. But let's solve it here and now. And so when we talk about what is the better thing to do here, feel your feelings. It doesn't have to be fun, but it just has to be there. Because the suppressing of this will lead to false conclusions or the idea that, hey, maybe it was something that I did, and if I look over everything that's getting me mad right now, then maybe it's not such a big deal after all. Suppressing that is what got you here. So letting that fly free is also going to give you a level of freedom you haven't felt in a long time. Okay. As we move towards resolution, first to find the image arcana strewn across the table in this read, we'll first look at the Hierophant, the card of Taurus. Please show. What about this guided path that Scorpio finds between themselves and someone they trust? Show us the cards we need to see, please. Hierophant. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, it didn't work out. So I don't know what idea or what plan you two made together, Scorpio, but yeah, it kind of fell apart. And the reason being, I think one person was pulling the weight more than the other, or one had more sincerity than the other. One likely being you here, of a plan that they was said that was mutually desired, but it didn't play out the way that the discussion happened. Next to the High Priestess, Six of Pentacles. Yeah, every day we get better. Invest little by little, because that's how we get there. Thing is, we don't have to suppress how we feel right now. It's not changing anything. So two things can be true at once. We can understand that eventually, hey, I'm going to feel better about this. I'll eventually get over it. But right now, somebody getting cussed out, right? Right? We have a right to feel both things at once. Next to Temperance, Three of Wands. And so expecting of the horizon, are we in that, no, to get to a much better place about this, I gotta speak my truth. So that is what is fast coming up between you and whoever made this plan fall apart, Scorpio. Just get ready for that. To the Magician, the Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity presenting itself. Yeah, I don't think that mentioning conflict between you and a long-standing friend or confidant is inherently meaning that you guys are failing friendship or failing the relational dynamic. In fact, that's how oftentimes friendship grows, because it becomes battle tested. And here, we're focusing not simply on forgiveness, but also being able to accurately and clearly say, yo, I'm not okay with this. Now, what does that mean for the both of us? Next to the Emperor, Four of Pentacles, right? And granted, all this is located under how to engage in conflict. I'm taking that more so, Scorpio, right now as, hey, I'm not saying this because I want us to stop talking or not be friends. However, as friends, I have a concern or a question that must be raised. Fair enough. And to the Star, the card of Aquarius, Ace of Swords. What is truth? And by extension, what is hope here? Yeah, we're going to get there eventually. We will eventually say, okay, I forgive you, let bygones be bygones. Right now, you need to be told how bad you effed up, right? And so when we get in that space of, yeah, here's my truth, but also here's the new desire that I hope for. If so, then what? Right? What is our true intention here as we really try to fix this dynamic that was broken from a simple plan going wrong? And so in resolution, first, Eight of Cups, walking away, even if for now, but I don't see that as permanent. I see that more so as we're walking away from whatever plan that we originally had, because we have a lot of reassessments that we need to do alongside the tower. Yeah, everything falls apart. Underneath it all, the Three of Swords, the notion of heartbreak. Yeah, I think so. Let's do a quick recap and resolution. Scorpio, essentially what happened, there was a, well hashed out plan that you and another person that you trusted a lot. It seemed like the easiest thing ever, and it failed spectacularly. And in its failure, you realize there's a massive, inequity of effort being put in, of desire for what we claim that we wanted collectively, the honesty about how we feel about making plans together. Like, there's just a huge power imbalance right now. And so yeah, eventually you're going to get over it, because yeah, you don't see this as, relationship ending or break worthy. However, to get there, you also have to be honest with this person of just how badly this affected you, right? This was supposed to be very easy. I'm left to front the bill, emotionally, spiritually, financially, all that. And with us sweeping this under the rug is going to make me angry and resent you. And so, hey, yeah, we'll try for friendship, but right now we got to try for conflict. We got to talk about this. We ain't budging and we ain't moving. Because right now I gotta walk away. I gotta accept the fact that, hey, this is failing spectacularly and I feel left out and hurt. Maybe this is part of the journey. Maybe this is how I have to accept where we are as friends and confidants right now. But above all, I need to be able to re-examine this relationship and who values what and who values who. That's why I see in your read today, Scorpio. Again, it's a tough one because we don't want to do this to somebody we consider a long-standing friend. However, the hope, and I'm gonna point back to that beyond all the pain and all the abandonment you feel right now, is that, hey, maybe one day we can come back to the table and talk like friends again, instead of me seething every time you try to mention making a plan. So make your own. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.